Hey there. It's your friend Magic Brad, the man, the myth, the legend in my own mind. And guess what we're going to talk? We're going to talk about magic today. And has the internet really spoiled magic? Some say yes, some say no. I think it's all point of view, just like magic is. It's all perception. So let's get the guy that's older than I and much wiser. Where is he?
I'll admit I'm a little bit older than you, but I don't know how much wiser.
Well, I have a theory about that. Like I'm 65 in June, and you are 67?
I'm 68. I'll be 69 in August.
68. So
69.
those are years that you've got on this planet longer than I.
Yeah.
And so I think you have accumulated more chronological wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you could say that if I applied myself well. Yes.
I think even if there's some homeless guy that's a big loser that just sits on the street and drinks wine, he's got more experience than me.
Okay. If he remembers.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe that's the way to live. Yeah. Who knows? I might have missed out on something. And I know that, on that topic, I know that I used to take things really serious and I had to get results, and I got my 5 to 10% results on a direct mail piece. And and then I find out that later in life, it's about alignment of your energy and having things just pop into your life serendipitously. And
right.
If I would have known that when I was 20,
right.
I'd have a different life.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're talking about. In that I had a conversation on the good old social media thing, and we were talking about the internet and magic, and because that David Blaine thing that's coming out, he's got some course or something he's selling for $200, and people are concerned that it's gonna, he shouldn't be teaching those secrets. And if someone wants to pay the $200, so the conversation got going there, and the guy put me in my place and told me that I was I was in my own head and I wasn't capable of thinking outside the box, and I should be thinking differently about.
Well, how did he try to make you think differently?
Well, he didn't try and make. Well, he was trying to make the point that the internet has been good for magic, and I guess it's point of view, because I think that it's kind of hurt it a little bit.
Okay, boy, I'm kind of neutral on this because I think that the internet has helped magic. At the same time, it has mucked up the waters, and so. But let's put it this way: I still, when I perform, people really enjoy what I'm doing. And I rarely get this disconnect. Now, sometimes I do, but rarely do I get a disconnect. And here's the preface. I say, have you ever seen a live magician, perform live magic? And most people say no. They may have seen it on the internet, but it's not the same thing. There's a disconnect when they're watching the internet or a video. But when I'm performing my magic and doing it right in front of them, now it's a different perspective, and a different experience for them. So here's what it is. It goes, in my opinion, Brad, it goes back to the way you present your magic. It's not the magic itself. It's you. It's you that's creating the magic. And you're holding that vibration and that presence of that moment of performing the magic. I see. This is part of the woo-woo that I attach myself to in the metaphysical, because I really have experienced this. My magic goes beyond me just knowing the trick. I mean, it takes skill to be able to perform it, and you do have to practice. But there comes a point when you're going beyond the trick itself, and you're presenting an experience to someone. And that they can't get off the internet, or rarely get off the internet. Let's just put it that way.
I think that it really depends on the circumstance, because if you are watching a trick on the internet, like that Jackie Yu guy, I've seen him do some things that are pretty amazing, but they could only be done with a single camera angle. So they would not be able to do that live, even though he did it on Penn and Teller, but that was done with a single camera angle placed strategically for him.
Right.
But so the best example I can use is, you ever seen a Cirque du Soleil show?
Yeah.
They're very impressive live and in person.
Oh yeah.
So what they did at this one that I went to was they had an app that they had created, and everybody in the audience was supposed to get on their phones and then do this app thing, and they saw the presentation on their phones, and they all missed the heavenly glory because they were looking on their phones. So that's kind of
Wow. That's awesome. That was a great experience for you.
Because I was able to set down my phone and actually look at the show and see all the people looking at their phones, and they missed the spectacular part.
And they did that intentionally to make their point.
I don't think they were trying to make that point. I think they're trying to say, this is cool. This is an omni participation.
Oh, it's not the same. Yeah, you're right.
But we could have all seen it in our cars or from the comforts of our own home. And I paid, $60 for a ticket or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would you do that if you're trying to make a point?
So I agree that, it was cool because a person could look up from their phone and see the live performance where you could not do that in your living room. But so one person sitting at their phone doing a TikTok video of taking a playing card and turning it into a watch, and literally there are hundreds of thousands of other people sitting in their living room by themselves with their phones watching a card turn into a watch. And then you get 100,000 views on there.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to go back to when I first experienced my magic by going to a magic shop or going to a magic club meeting.
Right.
And when you went to the magic shop, you wanted to buy a new trick. The person behind the counter had to demonstrate the trick for you and not reveal the secret. In fact, those secrets were kept very well, and even at the magic club, they wouldn't show you how it was done unless you had proven yourself as an entertainer, as a magician. So, whereas the internet has been very sloppy with that, but it's not the same effect. It doesn't give you. It gives you an idea. But there's not the energy behind it that you had when you did experience it live.
Yeah. And what I'm trying to get across to some of this younger generation, and granted, they've got their own cliques of friends and things they hang out with, is when you were at the magic store buying that trick, somebody that you know, like, and respect now probably showed up and you became friends and you saw them at conventions and maybe you hung out and had dinner and human interaction. Whereas the younger generation, I think maybe they go to the coffee shop, grab a coffee at the coffee shop, sit in a corner, and and then maybe they get out of the coffee shop and they go hang out with their friends, or they text them and say, hey, guess what? I just saw this really cool trick at the coffee shop on video. You should check it out. And here's the link. And they never, I don't know. Maybe that's the new life, the solo life.
Well, it's not my life, and
Steve, maybe part of the reason that this is happening for me is because I am craving attention from humans again. It's really cool going to these meetups and seeing people, and it would be really cool to be able to come down there and hang out with you instead of this video thing, although I enjoy doing this. But I think there's a big, in fact, my coach that I'm going to be talking with soon here, that's the conversation it's going to be about. I need to get out and see some people because I went to the coffee shop. Monica's at the coffee shop, and it was interesting. I was sitting there. I was on my phone. I just glanced up and I looked around, and there's all these people in front of their laptops, just individuals.
Right.
Nobody's talking to each other. So that's what I think is kind of cool when you go to a magic show, a live magic show, and you get done with the show after the lobby and you go and see the guy and he signs your show program. Hey, George, how you doing? I haven't seen you forever. Hey, a bunch of us are going to go grab a little bit to eat after. You want to come with us? Oh, sure. That'd be a lot of fun.
No.
That's gone.
Yeah, yeah. Even the magic clubs are not what they used to be. Only a few are.
No, we're
And
doing a virtual hybrid right now with our SAM meetings, and they hook up the little Zoom thing, and it's actually just a bummer. It's just a pain.
yes, it is. It's
You know,
very
you're sitting here talking about
embarrassing for
something,
me to watch some of the stuff I see.
and then somebody that's on Zoom, their dog starts barking and stuff, and it just interrupts the whole meeting. So, I don't know. I like being able to connect with people. Like you're over in Florida, I'm up here in Minnesota. We can have this conversation. But when you hybrid it, it really ruins things, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think I told you before, the last few magic conventions I've gone to, the highlight was sitting in the lobby talking and visiting with my friends.
Right.
You know, it's that personal connection.
That's kind of what I'm trying to get across. But the younger generation just flips it on me and says, "You're triggered because you're old. You don't understand the new way."
Well, it is a new way, but is it a better way? I don't know.
It's a way. I don't know if it's. I mean, it's nice to have a telephone so you can call your friends, but there's really nothing better than actually going to the actual live event and seeing the
Yeah.
people and getting to see other emotions and other people around, and it's just so much better that way, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So that's what this is about. I'm kind of wondering.
I see. I'm gonna take a neutral stand on that position
I
about
will too.
whether or not spoiled magic, because it has exposed even me. It's exposed me to a lot more magic than if I had not had the internet.
Mhm.
Um, did it make me a better magician? I would say yes. Yeah, I would say yes. Um, did it help my magic? I would say yes. Let's put it this way: every time in the early years when David Copperfield came to town and did a show, my bookings for my shows increased. So when people see magic and become more aware of it, then they think magic. But there's also the other aspect of it. Said, well, we've seen that on video. We don't need to hire someone to come and do it for us live. That's one way of looking at it. But I'm working. You know, there's people still booking magicians. In fact, right now there's an upswing. Right now, you know, now that the lockdowns are been removed, and
Yeah,
so
I guess there's just a lot of little sound bites, and that's what magic is now. It's these little 15-second snippets of
yeah,
magic,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's what it's kind of become. Did you see that guy?
yeah. Even I tried to do some of that on Instagram and TikTok. I even tried to do a few of those, and it got to a point where I'm going, "Why am I doing this?" You know, I mean, I have a presence there, so people. It does draw people to my website, you know, dollarstoremagictricks.com.
Well, people like Doug Kahn are doing really good. He does
Oh yeah,
little demos
but
and stuff.
he takes it a lot further, and he's very gifted.
Yeah,
I just watched him just yesterday. He did an excellent job. Was very impressed. Not everybody can do it like he does.
yeah. I guess it's how the person utilizes it. Utilizes this internet thing. Um, and maybe my problem with it is my own personal loneliness. I want to connect with humans again. That might be my challenge with it.
Yeah, well, you are. I believe you are from what you're telling me. And magic is one way of breaking the ice and communicating with people. And so, yeah, so I do use it in that way. But I don't use my magic so much for socializing. I know some people do, but you know, I don't perform my magic unless someone's asking me to perform for them. You
Mhm.
know, so
Right. You don't do like some of these guys walking around with a camera guy and interrupting people while they're trying to have dinner on a sidewalk cafe.
yeah,
Excuse me, could I show you a magic trick?
yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Whatever.
Yeah, that's one thing I complained about David Blaine in his early years. He'd walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, you want to see a trick, or you want to see some magic, or you want to see something amazing?" I can't remember what it was he said, but you know, it was interruptive type magic, you know, performance.
Yeah, and some things that people got to think about too. That some of that stuff is planned. He didn't
No.
really walk up
Oh
to a
yeah. Yeah.
stranger.
Right. Yeah.
But then when these kids see this, it's like, oh, you just walked up to a stranger. No, you were fooled.
Yeah. So, and let's go back and talk about the teaching of tricks,
Yeah.
tutorials on magic, and there is an overabundance of that. I'd have to say, um, people are giving away secrets just to draw attention and draw traffic to themselves, and I think they're doing themselves a disservice. They're really missing the value of the magic itself, and so I will say that. But then again, how does one learn? I mean, when I was a kid, you went to about the magic trick. You got a set of instructions, and you had to read them and decipher exactly what they were saying without actually seeing it. You might remember what you saw at the magic shop, but you didn't really learn the skill. So it was a struggle, but
Mhm.
that was part of the evolution of who I am today.
Well,
So
the other side of that too is some people see these things, and I've seen some people do some very poor basic vanishes because they don't quite understand the psychology that someone like Sly Dini or Al Schneider or Jimmy Grippo or some of these old timers would put into things to
but you're mentioning
explain
the
it.
old timers.
Yeah, Johnny
I know who those people
Johnson.
are.
Because I put that on that little post that I did with this gentleman, and I said that the times that I actually met Di Vernon and Jimmy Grippo and Johnny Thompson and
Wow.
Charlie Miller and these people that I actually got to learn some stuff from. And then he
Wow.
rattled off some names, and I'm thinking, I never heard of those guys before.
Yeah.
So it's totally different generations, the 20, 30-year
Yeah.
old, the 50s and 60-year olds.
Yeah. A lot of magic has been lost over the years through those guys passing on. And I don't know if it got passed down to the younger generations. I don't know. A lot of stuff that I do there, I don't see other magicians doing it. The way I do it, and so that if I really let's see, I do enjoy lecturing and teaching magic to the magicians, but the attraction is not there. It seems to be. So going back to the concept that magic has been spoiled or watered down or whatever. There is some degree of that is definitely even in the magic community. Let's put it this way: I've myself have forgotten more tricks than I ever would ever perform. I mean, I've gone to a lot of lectures and seen a lot of magic, read a lot of books, and
Well, I think a lot of the things that they're trying to do is just get right to that punch thing, rather than telling a story and creating a
yeah,
more of a presentation to
we're
it.
creating an experience for yourself and the audience.
Yeah.
Then
But what they're
create
doing is
that connection.
they're doing more gotcha stuff.
Right. No. No.
And you
That's
only got
not.
15 seconds to get it out. So you
Yeah.
do your cup and
Yeah.
ball routine and go to do the final loads, but the thing stops because you don't have 16 seconds.
Well, it's like the other day there, somebody was saying, "We want you to be in our show. We'll give you 8 minutes." I said, "8 minutes? It takes me 8 minutes to say hello to everybody and do my introductions."
Yeah.
I like
So
to I like to connect with my audience. I don't make it boring. I'm definitely because when I first connect with my audience, I want them to feel comfortable with me and to know that I can do magic and and create expectations and excitement. So it's the experience, Brad. That's what we're really talking about. So
yeah, I
yeah,
think
the internet's not going to give that to you.
a well-rounded performer will be able to do things on the internet and live and in person both, so they can because some people if they don't know how to perform in front of people, they don't know how to talk with them, and all they know how to do is stare into one single camera and make sure there's a ring light on there so that their face is right.
Well, I'm going to argue that the internet is not fair to magic or magicians. Um, it's not the same. Yeah, you can tell the difference between a skilled magician, an experienced one, versus one who's not on the internet. But it's the live performance that really makes a difference. So I mean, yeah, I'm gonna watch the videos. I'm gonna expose myself to more magic through the internet. But that's not where I live. That's
Mhm.
not. So,
Well, there you go. I think we covered it and made some good points. I don't think we hurt anybody's feelings.
I hope not.
And
No,
if
it's
we did,
the object is, as you well know, is to look at a different perspective. You said that earlier about how you perceive magic itself, and then our involvement with the internet. So
yeah, I think a lot of this stuff boils down to intention and what you want to create out of it.
yes,
Like we've
yes,
never met in person, yet we get along really well and have a lot of fun. But and maybe that wouldn't happen. Maybe if we met in person, you'd stop me or something. I don't
no,
know.
it would happen.
You'd say you're a lot shorter than I thought you would be.
Well, I'm a lot taller than you think I am. Yeah. How tall are you?
Towering 5'6", 5'7", if I
Yeah,
inhale.
you're a little guy compared to me.
Yeah.
I'm 6'5".
I tower over Danny Fleshman.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy, I'm going to sign this one off. We can have a little
Yipper.
chitty chatty in the green room there. Thank
See
you,
you
Steve.
later.
Appreciate it.
Bye bye.
So there you have it. Dun, dun, dun. A little knowledge from a couple of old farts. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But we have been on the planet longer, but we do have something to learn from these younger generation kids, that's for sure. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share. Let's elaborate, shall we? Peace, love, and happiness. This is Magic Brad signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind. Don't share the secrets.